once I was safe from the harsh elements. You call this harsh? It's been warm and sunny all. Not where I was.
Not where I was. It's under a bunch of lies. Running away from planting arson. First, there's a whole diatribe about Eva coming back and then kind of nonchalantly throws Izzy in. Like, this wasn't his plan. She crazy illusion of, so the other contestants don't expect. As far as they know, she was off the woods surviving off of raw fish. Crazy. In the previous episode, the girls and the guys are separated. The girls don't bond as well as the guys do, so they put a giant line of tape down the middle of the cabin. Bridget sides with Gwen and Lashana and leaves Heather and her sidekick on the other side. When Eva enters the girls' room, she acknowledges the tape, but Izzy doesn't. When the scene starts and fades in, Izzy is already on Heather and Lindsay's side. Literal side, which we will see a bunch more of in a little bit. It's just important to note that she's already chosen sides and it isn't acknowledged so far. Maybe we aren't supposed to know it. The rest of what Izzy does in this episode is more crazy coding, but we get to see how of a beating power she has. We see more of her fighting skills later in the season, but for right now, we know she's a very gifted acrobat and a very strong woman. She's been trained, potentially for something even more taxing than this show. And you could still argue her loss here is strategical. She takes herself out of this challenge. Dumb.
Oh, me! With the poison ivy spa treatment! Is it just me? Or is that girl
You don't need immunity to stay in the game. You just need to fly under the radar. And she knows there are at least 2 people more dated than her. And that's why Eva gets voted off. We see a bunch of professionals. We all see who they voted for. You know, we don't see Izzy. She is still at this point. Basically, at the end of the series, only had 1 confessional so far. Episode 16 has some Lindsay and Izzy content. Not like shipping. It seems like Lindsay always gets the Izzy. She was grossed out by her evil. And she was one of the people terror on her face when she was coming back. Izzy helps Lindsay find after she's attacked by bees. Intentionally, because Lindsay doesn't actually get it.
Izzy tried to help. Bees singing. Terror. Lost keys.
This is another big Heather Gwen trend. That whole thing episode. It is canonically shown. I keep saying that, but it is canon that Izzy helped Heather kiss Gwen's crush. She knowingly did that.
Okay, listen up. We gotta break up trust with Gwen. Here's the plan.
Even if we're taking the entire show at surface level, she's crazy. Even she would know that that is very, very bad. You know, if you believe she is.
I see too. There's no time for that now. We need to have an alliance meeting.
And she's definitely in this alliance, but we all see the reason that now they just said it. And yet, in the eyes of the fans, she gets away with it. At least Lindsay doesn't know any better, and Beth willingly leaves. Everyone's like, oh, Izzy's so kooky. She's fucked up. This is notoriously one of the most evil things Heather does this season, and Izzy was there. She helped her do it. And then when she comes back to greet her friends...
Hey, guys! Woo! What? Thanks! Don't worry, he's friendly.
Remember I mentioned plot armor from before?
Oh, and look, an invincibility pass. Lucky me.
Well, the only reason Trent Heather doesn't, because in a stroke of luck, she finds invincibility. Like, I could excuse the Justin thing, but this is straight up just dumb luck. Making sure this cheating happens is the most strategic move for Izzy, because even if Trent doesn't get booted, Heather still falls. It's obviously better for her to keep Heather around as a hate buffer, but keep her going a little bit. She's in the alliance, but she spends way more time manipulating Lindsay than helping Heather. Maybe she noticed how suggestible Lindsay is, like Owen before her, and Episode 17. Izzy hunts Chef in this episode, and they seem pretty well matched, almost like they've met each other before. Interesting. Also, Izzy keeps Lashana's hiding place a secret, despite what we're meant to believe is that she's in Heather's alliance and had no reason to help her win. When it comes to Izzy, can't trust anyone. She has no allegiance, except...
I say we lose them. Lindsay? Owen. Yeah. But Owen is like the nicest guy on the island, and he he plays a mean game of canasta. Have you guys ever played that?
The people she finds the easiest to manipulate.
Hey, why don't you vote with us, Izzy? We'll be like BFFs. That's female friends. Okay.
You'd also just dump you after you vote.
True. Well, how?
Oh, poor Izzy. If only she knew that Heather couldn't be trusted. Of course she knows. She's known the whole time. Bridget gets voted off due to the girls' split vote. Episode 18 is bullshit. It also aired alongside Thumb Wars, the Star Wars Thumb parody. So much to talk about that. The contestants are custom bikes. The rules are absurd. The bike just gets throughout the swing and the final part of the challenge. Your bike needs to cross the finish line, which means even if you win the race, you might not make it to the end. You only make it if your bike crosses why even race? And the final round is... Just listen to this.
Come on! We did it! We're safe!
It's not exactly true. Heather is safe because her bike crossed the line first, but since Duncan and Owen wiped out and didn't complete the race, they technically didn't cross the line at all. You were the last one to cross the line. It's dock of shame time, baby.
So Lindsay gets immediately eliminated, despite coming in second place. The rules are so dumb, they don't make any sense. Why even try? You would be better off in this challenge by not competing. Wait a minute.
Oh well, they're lost. This is where it gets good.
Izzy kidnaps Lashana and bikes her off island, skipping the challenge and not competing at all. If you can't race, then you can't get eliminated, but you can't just not do the challenge, so you need to go missing. And what's the best alibi for going missing? Has helped Lashana stay in the game. She couldn't possibly know Lindsay was going to be the one that was going to get eliminated, but at least now she has a contingency plan. Heather has outgrown her usefulness. She still has Owen under her thumb, but he's starting to also outgrow his usefulness. Having a Lashana as an ally may be a good asset. Those three people watching from the very start, and she made a very conscious effort to be on their team. Speaking of Owen being under her finger, episode 19, the hook guy. Before. All the contestants watch a horror movie together and then have to live one as Chef, dressed up like a murderer, chases them all around the island. The scary movie aficionados, Gwen and Duncan, know the rules because they've seen so many horror movies. So obviously no other contestant would know more about avoiding Chef for the challenge.
Never go in the woods. Rule number 3. If you do go in the woods, never, ever, ever make out in the woods. Or you will die in the woods.
No one knows more about scary movies than Duncan. Except, Izzy loves scary movies.
Izzy loves scary movies.
Izzy loves scary movies. So she knows this is a bad idea, and yet she brought Owen into the woods. And also, it's Chef. She's bested and escaped Chef before, she could easily do it again. Unless, of course, she purposefully lost the challenge for her and Owen. But she wouldn't do that. Owen was no longer loyal.
Owen's too young to die.
It makes way more sense than her being committed to horror movies, considering she loves them.
But I have got a and the body
She's taking out both Heather and Owen. TJ gets eliminated because I guess the writers wanted him gone, so the first season has a lot of this. Episode 20, a mistake. Izzy has been a total drama machine so far. Every choice she's made has been systematic to get her to the final 7. And in doing this, she has been utterly emotionless. Everything is for reason. Sometimes, emotion trumps reason.
Hours for a wild and crazy gal?
as in the kind you abandon and leave for dead in the
First actual time we've seen her mad. Even when she was fighting with Chef, she seemed exhilarated. Also,
Can't believe I'm in the final set. Can you imagine me winning? Oh, that was... Everyone else here totally deserves it more than I do. Except Heather. She's really mean.
Owen claims defeat Heather, whereas before we saw him being a friend with her. This is possibly at Izzy's request. Izzy had her whole plan laid out in front of her. Heather, Trent, Justin, Katie, Sadie, and Owen. But she missed something. Izzy had directed all of her attention towards the Screaming Gophers and the threat on that team that she missed the biggest threat on the Bass. Behind everyone's back, Duncan decides to make a momentary Heather, which is, in this episode, the reason Izzy gets the boot. Izzy pretends to be a bad shot throughout the whole episode, resulting in her being able to shoot Heather with a tranquilizer, thus eliminating the biggest threat in the challenge. Unfortunately for her, she didn't see Duncan coming. How did this happen? She's smarter than this.
Oh my gosh, I should totally win. Okay, you know that time I dressed up as a bear and like scared everyone? They were like, crazy! Well, if someone else dressed up as a bear and it wasn't me, I thought it was weird. I would have known that I IQ of 1 in case. Because I do!
Wait. What?
Yeah, genius runs in my family and psychotherapy.
I don't know how much of this I should believe. We can only go off of stuff that is strictly canon. But we also know she's never won. Hanging out after getting confirming the location of where Izzy was hiding. And it's apparently very close to the house. This place is right around the corner from this lame-o campground. This episode Izzy tormented the first 3 people she preyed on island. She may not drop her persona. Revenge. Washed her ass. I don't know why. What kind of strategy could this be?
I just hope she's still not tempted me about the Heather thing.
I would be. If she were me and you were still you, you'd be seriously maimed.
That's a little harsh.
You kissed her mortal enemy.
It wasn't my fault. I was tricked.